Namaskar. So, since a few people liked my last video, which was about Sanskrit, I figured that I might as well do one in English. So, here it is. The last one was from Marathi to Sanskrit, so you must not have understood most of it, or maybe all of it, who knows. So, I wanted to do one in English, and most of it will be the same, but yeah, I'm going to follow the exact same sections that I read in the previous video, but some of these statements might be different. So I hope you enjoy this one. Now, well, I have this tiny book called Sanskrita Vyavahara Sahasri, and it's from Sanskrit to Marathi, but I can do this into English. So there are, different sections in this book, different subjects that we can discuss, like meeting people or travel and movies and cooking and health, weather, food, parents and children. And there's also an entire section devoted solely to women. So let's get started. I was thinking that we could begin from, the greetings part, as in when you meet someone, the kind of things you say to them. So if you want to say hi, you better say Hari Om. Hari Om. Or if you want to say hello, I suppose that's the more formal version of hi, then you could say Namaste or Namaskaraha. Namaste, Namaskaraha. Then there's good morning, which can be said as Suprabhatam. Suprabhatam. Note that there's this soft sound at the end of every word, almost every word, and it has to be said. Otherwise, it could, in some cases, mean something else, I think. And if you want to say good night to somebody, you must say Shubharatrihi. Shubharatrihi. As for thank you, all you have to say is Dhanyavadaha. Dhanyavadaha. I hope you're getting this. If you want to say welcome to my house or welcome to my place, for welcome, you use Swagatam. Swagatam. No D sound at the end over here. Then, if you want to say don't worry to somebody, a loved one, perhaps your mom, you're going out on a camping trip into a forest, it's going to be dangerous. I think it's going to be dangerous. I've never been on a camping trip, how would I know? So, all you have to do is say Chinta, Chinta, Mastu. Chinta, Maastu. Chinta means worry, and Maastu basically means let not there be any worry. So, please is Kripaya. Kripaya. These are similar to Hindi and Marathi versions. So if you already know those languages, it'll be easier for you to do Sanskrit. If you don't, it'll be, a lot more difficult. If you are trying to gain someone's forgiveness, or simply saying sorry to someone who you bumped into on the street, then all you have to say is Kramasva. Kramasva. Or you could say Kshamyatam. Now it really depends. I mean, in Sanskrit, in our culture, you don't say sorry. There is no fixed apology as such. You just ask for somebody else's forgiveness. So sorry is like a loose translation, whereas forgive me is a more literal one, wherein you actually ask for kshama or forgiveness. And that is also how it's in Marathi, where you say mala maaf kara, which means please forgive me. I mean, kripaya is please, so kripaya mala maaf kara. So, sorry. So if you say that, that'll mean that you're asking them to forgive you. It's sort of like you are apologizing, but it isn't in a way. You are expressing remorse or guilt because you know that you have committed a wrongdoing and you are trying to correct it by asking the person to forgive you for your fault. Yes, for your fault. And okay, moving on. If you, see you again or meet you again. I mean, the very literal translation of punaha milamaha is I'll meet you again or we'll meet again. Yeah, sorry, it's we'll meet again. It means punaha. Punaha means again. Milamaha, we will meet. We will meet is milamaha. So punaha milamaha. If you want to say good or great or, fine or basically, I think those are the only ones you can use to express that you're okay with something. Then you say sadhu, sadhu. Or you say samichinam, samichinam. Then let's check out something else. No, wait. So if you're introducing yourself to someone, all you have to say is mama nama and then insert name. Mama means mine and name is nama. See, it sounds similar, doesn't it? I've always been a bit freaked out about how certain words in English and certain words in local languages out here in India are quite similar. I mean, really, it's scary. I mean, I think, I don't know, I haven't read up on human history or history of languages and culture, but I think Europeans and Indians might be related. I don't believe I'm making any sense. Just ignore that. Anyways, moving on. If you're introducing a friend of yours to somebody, all you have to do is say Irshah Mama Mitram and then you insert the name. Irshah Mama Mitram. Here, note that just as there are different pronouns for different genders in English, there are different pronouns for different genders in Sanskrit too. So Irshah is the male pronoun. And don't get me wrong, there aren't just a few of them. I mean, there are lots and lots, as far as I can remember. I mean, even when you're trying to say this pen, or this book, or this person, there are different words depending on the gender of the thing or the person you're pointing at. So if you're saying, suppose this guy, yeah, if you're saying this guy, it would mean Irshah Balakaha. Here, Balakaha means boy, of course, but that's pretty much what it means. And if you're trying to say that person or that tree or that river, the word that will also have different genders in all these sentences. It's not exactly complicated, it's just incredibly specific. So you know the gender of the thing that you're talking about. I have no idea why that has to be so, because I mean, in some languages there aren't different pronouns for everything, right? But then again, in most Indian languages, you have to refer to the object as with its gender. So that's enough about that. Now, what shall? Oh yeah, if you're introducing a friend of yours who's a girl, then you have to say Isha Mama Saki. Isha Mama Saki. And remember, the one with the guy was Isha Mama Mitram. So here, obviously, Mitram means a friend who's a guy, and Saki means a friend who happens to be female. Maybe that came out wrong. Okay. Oh yeah. If you were saying that you were in the ninth grade or ninth standard, then all you have to say is aham, which means I. Aham navami kakshayam patami. I study in ninth standard or ninth grade. And depending on what kind of a grade you're in, you have to change the number. As in, okay, I've forgotten most of my Sanskrit. It seems. Just, just say it if you're in ninth. Okay. You don't have to tell everybody what kind of a grade you're in Sanskrit. I doubt you have to speak in Sanskrit in the first place. But it's interesting to know all the same. So, mm, if you want to inquire about someone's name, all you have to say is Bhavatah Nama Kim. Bhavatah Nama Kim. You're asking what is your name, but here you're asking a guy, you're asking a girl, or a woman, just any female. Why do I have to specify that? Yeah, just a female. Yeah, the feminine gender. I think I'm just turning this video into something very awkward. I hope that's not the case. So, as I was saying, if it's a girl you're talking to, and you want to ask about her name, ask her name, then all you have to say is Bhavatyaha Nam Kim. Bhavatyaha Nam Kim. Now I think we should move on to something else. I've already spent too much time talking about this. I hope this doesn't become too long, and I don't want to get bored. So let's turn to travel. Travel is fun. Travel is cool, but I wouldn't know since I haven't traveled. So, moving on. Aha. If you want to ask, if you want somebody to move forward, if you're on a line and you're about to step on the person or fall on top of them or something, or it's too crowded and you want to ask them to move forward, then just say agre gachatu. Agre gachatu. Agre gachatu. I doubt you'd have to say this in a normal setting where there aren't many crowds, so I think I'll just give you something common. Let's see. Suppose you're on the bus. You're about to go to a picnic or a class trip, and you want to tell a friend of yours that you're going to sit beside them. And then, yeah, you say, Aham bhavatah parshve upavishami. aham, I, bhavatah, your, parshve, beside. Okay, that doesn't make much sense. I'll just give you a loose translation. I, I, um, I shall sit beside you, or I will sit beside you. Technically, this isn't exactly in the present tense. It just says, sorry, this isn't in the future tense. A future tense takes on a completely different verb, or I mean, a verb ending. So this is in the present tense. How will you say that in present tense? I sit beside you. That just sounds wrong. Or whatever, you'll figure it out. It just says, aham, bhavatah, parshve, upavishami. I really hope I'm not being too loud with this. Am I? I hope you'll tell me if I am. Just put the feedback in the comments. Sometimes I get too excited and then my voice sort of rises. Depends whether or not I am angry or excited or whatever. I tend to knock people's eardrums off. So, what else do you speak when you're traveling? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If you want to say it is right there, I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe you're pointing to the washrooms, or you're pointing to the bus, or whatever it is. Maybe the ticket counter. If you want to say it's right there, you say tatra eva asti. Or you can make a sandhi of the two words tatra and eva and say tatraiva asti. Tatraiva asti. Now sandhi is basically what can I say? It's where two words merge and their sounds merge too, but they mean what they would have when they are separate. It's not a compound, don't get me wrong, because a compound is where two different words with two different meanings come together to form a word that means completely a word that means something else. It doesn't always happen. Now, if I get into the basics of Sanskrit, I'll just have to teach you Sanskrit from the beginning, which I'm not here to do, but I was just trying to clarify the difference. So, in a sandhi, if you're saying, suppose, I don't know how to put this in English because in English doesn't have sandhi. So, yes. Yes, I suppose this is an apt example. When you say don't, don't, and the words originally are do not, then you merge the words and then you say them together. So when the ending of do joins with or combines with or merges with the beginning of not, you're saying do not or don't, right? So it's sort of like that. And that is when the two words merge and the sound changes slightly, not too much. It just sounds like it would if you were to say them together. And they're written differently, of course, but that is always the case. Something you say or speak isn't always how you write it. So, I mean, English should know. God, you say one thing, you write the other. I mean, come on, knife, knee, who, what knowledge? It's just weird. I mean, who has silent terms? But thank God I never had any difficulty with English. Oh, if you're about to ask someone about a route, a certain route, and you don't know where it goes, or is wait, it, I when I say route, I mean route, as in route. If you pronounce it as route, I don't know, we just call it route here. So if you're asking someone about the route and you don't know where it's going, and um, you want to ask that in Sanskrit for some reason, you say एषः मार्गः कुत्र गच्छति? एषः मार्गः कुत्र गच्छति? एषः मार्गः कुत्र गच्छति? Hmm. What else will you say when you're traveling? Okay, so maybe traveling's boring. At least it is when it comes to speaking about traveling or in the traveling context. Am I making any sense? Sorry, I'm just tired, I suppose. I was just really excited to get these video out. So, yeah, my exams just ended 4 days ago, I suppose. Yeah, it was so tiring. Let's talk about movies. Yes. What do you say when you're at the movies? Mm. Aha, if you're about to ask someone how many movies they generally watch in a month, if anybody out there watches more than one movie a month, I don't know really. Maybe I'm just busy. Yeah, okay. You only have to say is Mase Kata Chitrani Pashyati Bhavan. Mase in a month. Kata how many? Chitrani movies. Pashyati you watch. Bhavan you. So basically you just ask how many movies do you watch in a month? Mase Kata Chitrani Pashyati Bhavan. If you want to ask someone if the movie was houseful, or rather the theater was houseful, the movie theater or the play wala theater. What do you call a theater which only has plays and not movies? Is there a specific term for it? Oh, who knows? Okay, so if you're asking, suppose a friend went to the movies, came back too soon, you ask them, Chitragraham Purnam Asit? Chitragraham here is the movie theater. Purnam means full. Asit, was it? Or just was. So you're saying Chitragraham Purnam Asit. Now if you see here, if you want to say Purnam and Asit together, then the word will sound like Purnamasit. Purnamasit. See what I mean? The sounds merge in a Sandhi. If you want to ask about the director of the movie, which means Nirdeshakaha, the director is called Nirdeshakaha, then you ask them Kaha Nirdeshakaha, which in its literal translation means who director. Literally. But its meaning is who is the director of the movie. Kaha Nirdeshakaha. Oh, if you want to say that your money went to waste, because the movie was terrible or it was not worth watching in a theater, you could have just watched it at home on the TV whenever it came on, or I don't know if you illegally download them, so then you'd say Kevalam Dhanam Vyartham. Your money went to waste. is waste. Kevalam dhanam vyartham. Dhanam here means wealth, basically. Wealth or just money. If you want to say that the dialogue or the storyline was nice, and take note of how I say nice, because the word samijina means nice, not too good, not too bad, just nice. Then you say samvada samijina asit. Wait a second. It should be katha samijina asit. If you're talking about the story, which means katha, then you'll have to say katha samijina asit. And if it is a dialogue, which is samvadaha, then I suppose you'd say samvadaha. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. God, I hope you did not hear that. Sheesh. God, I got a heart attack. Oh god. Wow. So sorry. I am so very sorry. Kramasva. Ugh. You should not have subjected you to that. But then again, I can't even edit. I'm just a beginner in this. So, sorry. I'll just move on, shall I? If you want to say it was absolutely meaningless and boring, you know, the movie, then you say Kevalam Nisaram Jamita Bhavati. Kevalam Nisaram Jamita Bhavati. Ooh, let's see what they have under the women's section. Striyah means women, as in the plural. So, oh, it's about conversation between women. Okay, let's see. Um, so if you're a woman and a working woman at that, and you want to say, I have a lot of work, then you say, Mama api bahu karyam asti. I have a lot of work too. Mama api bahu karyam asti. And suppose you receive guests, and you want to say that the guests are home, or the guests have come. You know, if you're talking to your husband or wife on the phone, and you go, guests are home. Then you say, Atithayah agataha santi. Atithayah, which is the plural of guest. Agataha, have come. Santi. This also means have, in a way. It's rather difficult to explain Sanskrit without the foundation or the base or the mold of a local language. So just take it as I give it to you. If you're gonna ask someone what your mom was doing, what their mom was doing, you know, and you go and you say, what was your mom doing? Then you say, Bhavatah mata kim karoti sma. Bhavatah mata kim karoti sma. Your mata means mother. Pita means father. I don't know why I just told you that, but suppose it's something you should know if you're watching this video anyways. More like listening to. Yeah, I'm never doing videos. Let's talk about parents and children. I suppose we can all empathize with that. Or rather relate to. I don't know what I meant. I really am tired, aren't I? I'm not even making sense anymore. And my tongue is heavy. I don't even know why I don't even eat ice cream. See what I mean by not making sense? Let's see. 36. Where's page? Oh, just a second. Aha! Now, if your mother or your father are asking you, where had you been all this while? Where did you go to? Then they'll ask, Etavat paryantam kutra gatavan? Where were you for all this time? And if you want to say, nowhere, I was right here, then you go, no, no kutrapi. Ihaiva asam. No kutrapi. I was nowhere. Which, yeah, you know what? This isn't working out for me. I mean one thing, but English means something else. Using the same words, mind you. Maybe I could find something easier to work with. How about we go back to the basics? Um, like, um, aha. If you want to say, don't forget, you just tell someone something very important, and you want to tell them to not forget it, then you say, no vismaratu. No vismaratu. Now here, no is just a negation. It doesn't mean do not. The the ending tu means you. You shouldn't. Or you shouldn't. Oh my god, this is very difficult. Why did I even begin with this? But since I'm here, I might as well end it, right? God, I so hope this is relaxing for you. Otherwise, all of this will be for nothing. Vyartham. Vyartham jataha. I hope someone who really knows Sanskrit isn't listening to this. I'm scared that they'll point out my mistakes. God, I hate being wrong. If you want to say it's not like that, or that's not like that, or it's not like that, you say tat tatha no. Tat tatha no. Perhaps I should stop now. I'm rather hungry. But that is not something that might sound relaxing to you. So I'll just tell you that it's said that Sanskrit is actually quite similar to German. Yeah, you heard me right. Maybe you've already heard about that, but if you're learning German and if you've already done Sanskrit, then you find it easier to do German. That's what a couple of my friends said, because they're doing German right now, and I find it pretty interesting. They also say, or at least so I've heard, that they're asking for Sanskrit teachers in Germany. I think there are people, I mean, am I being insensitive? God, I don't know how to. Okay, focus. Another bike just went by. It's not a great time right now. I hope you're still not shaken up from the last one. God, that bike was a disaster. Shouldn't even be illegal. What else? What else can I possibly tell you about Sanskrit? Oh yeah. Um, centuries ago, Sanskrit was actually spoken all over India, throughout Bharat, and uh, it just the derivatives of Sanskrit like Marathi, Hindi, they all started forming because um, people used local dialects and merged them with Sanskrit. And slowly and surely, Sanskrit started morphing in every single region of India, turning into a brand new language. So that happened. And you can't even call it a dead language per se, because it isn't. It's still spoken, it is still learned. Thousands, billions, not billions, that's a bit too much, but lakhs and crores of us still learn Sanskrit in schools, and people are trying to make efforts to make sure that every student learns Sanskrit in the very first standard itself, along with Hindi and English and whatever the state language is. Yeah, we're born multilingual. It sort of just happens because we speak one language in the state that we're from, and we speak one language. What was I saying? I think I'm phasing out. But yeah, back to the point. So if our parents are from another state, they'll teach us own language, which is theirs. We'll inculcate that. And if the community we're living in, the state we're living in, has a different language, we'll learn that. So that's two languages. At the same time, we also have to learn English because English is used all over the world now, and there's no running from it. You know, medicines have it, and even our signals have it. For God's sake, I mean, you can't. It's actually, the British did a favor to us because they literally gave us a gift in the form of English by making sure that everybody in the country knows at least a little bit of it. So, yeah, it's actually cool. I mean, we can even imitate your accents, which is rather difficult to admit, but I don't even know what accent I'm speaking in. I have a weird mesh. Or, is that even a word, mesh? Mesh? Mess. I meant mess. God, I really am sleepy. Yeah, my accent is like a weird mess of a bit of Indian, a bit of British. Sometimes it just pops out of my mouth. I mean, come on, how could it not? And a little bit of American. Sometimes I even speak Scottish. I mean, not the language. I don't know if Scottish is a language, but the accent. I tend to scare people. Yeah, they don't know what spouts out of my mouth. But that wasn't the point again. This was supposed to be relaxing, get about Sanskrit, and I'm making this about me. I'm very sorry. Kramaswa. Where was I? Oh, yes. So we have to learn English because it's all over the place. And we also have to learn the one of the official languages, which is Hindi. And so in the process, we learn about four languages just as we're born. And then as we proceed, we take up other foreign languages like French or Spanish or German or Italian or Portuguese or Japanese or Mandarin. We just love learning languages. It's sort of our thing. I mean, if you go to Mumbai, you know, you will literally see at least six different languages on the same street. Be it the name of a shop, be it the language that some people are speaking, be it a newspaper stand, you will see so many languages. It's fascinating, and all of those languages have different scripts, and you could never learn all of India's languages in a single lifetime, which kills me on the inside. But what can you do? I have a feeling that the speed with which I speak might not actually be conducive to relaxation, but then I tend to rush through everything I say. Wow. Right. I'm just going to put this up, I suppose. If you have any feedback, let me know. I'm here to improve. This is rather fun talking to my earphones. Feels a bit weird. I used to wonder how other ASMR artists did this, at, for hours at a stretch. But I suppose it's like having a late conversation, late in the sense that the person doesn't respond until it's months later. Yeah. Um, suppose that's it. I will just put this up now, and you let me know what you think, and what other things you'd like to learn about. Could be about India, could be about me. I'm not sure about how open I am to answering questions. Perhaps I will, perhaps I won't. Why don't you find out? And I suppose that's all for now. Thank you for listening, and bye bye. And no, wait, always end with a da. Yeah, it just sounds weird, but that's how we say it. It's like the British ta, just with another ta tacked on at the end. I think that's how we got our tata, you know. The British started it. So, tata.